Stereotypes are widely held, oversimplified, and often have exaggerated beliefs about a particular group of people. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields, which is often considered a male-dominated field due to prejudice. Research has shown that stereotypes in STEM can influence the performance of underrepresented groups, especially female students. From the study called Gender Stereotypes Impair Preschool Girls' Intuitive Nonsense, the study explored how gender stereotypes can affect preschool girls' number sense and a critical, which is calculated as a critical early math skill. It included 434 children aged from 3 years old to 6 years old and found that girls who linked math more with boys did worse on the number sense task presented as a math test, indicating that stereotypes could hinder girls' innate number sense. For the other study mentioned in our module, which is done by Ambody et al., the study used math tests and investigated how stereotypes activation affects children's math performance across 3 age groups: lower elementary, upper elementary, and middle school. Using Asian American participants, findings showed that the youngest and oldest groups performed in line with stereotypes, which means better with Asian identity but worse with female identity for girls. Stereotypes in STEM can lead to a decrease in motivation and have a direct negative impact on learning performance. To change people's perceptions of gender stereotypes in STEM, intervention projects are necessary. From a study conducted by Xinyang and Baidu, it has been proven that academic self-concept and intrinsic motivation are significant predictors of academic performance. The study aimed to examine the relationship between academic self-control, intrinsic motivation, and academic performance among senior high school students. The participants were 346 senior high school students with a gender distribution of 54.9 females and 45.1 of males. Through the measuring their adapted academic self-concept skill and academic performance, they found a strong positive relationship between academic self-concept, intrinsic motivation, and academic performance. Gender stereotypes can negatively influence the academic performance and the development of children. The research from Liu and Xie employs a multi-level of perspective, including individual, family, school, region, to investigate how gender role perception affects the mathematical capabilities of junior high school students. The study utilized 2 main measures for the mathematical capability: the midterm examination results collected by schools and the mathematical capability test scores based on cognitive capability tests. They were aimed at measuring basic logical thinking and problem-solving skills outside the school curriculum. The study began with children in grade 7, following them through grades 8 and 9, and included both male and female students. It was found that gender stereotypes held by students, parents, and within educational settings significantly impact mathematical capabilities, with boys benefiting from positive stereotypes and girls being negatively impacted by stereotypes. With the help of intervention programs, teacher-led courses can also result in a significant reduction of the use of common stereotypes. This study tested if a school program about different kinds of scientists could help kids think differently about who scientists are. It involved kids from 7 to 11 years old from a school looking at what words they used to describe scientists before and after the program, and again after some time. They found that before the program, kids often used stereotypical words for scientists, but later, even a year later, they use fewer of these stereotypes words, especially the boys. This shows that such school activities can change how kids view the scientists and the gender stereotypes. So this study highlights a multi-phased issue. Stereotypes in STEM education not only diminish students' academic self-concept and intrinsic motivation, but also perpetuate gender disparities and limit the diversity of perspectives within these fields. Based on our current research, it is evident that interventions targeting gender stereotypes in STEM have shown significant improvement. However, most studies concentrate on the short-term effectiveness, leaving the long-term impact of this intervention on participants' gender stereotypes uncertain. Moreover, the role of parents during these interventions have been largely overlooked. Despite parents being the primary influencer during children's developmental stage and having a significant impact on the formation of stereotypes in their early years. Therefore, my research objective is to investigate whether changes in parents' attitudes towards the gender stereotypes in STEM intervention programs can directly influence children's attitudes and consequently increase academic performance. Since it is known that young children are less adaptable in understanding stereotypes, and by the age of 10, children's awareness of stereotypes become quite similar to adults, so it is therefore more suitable to select participants for the experiment from preschool to age 2 before they establish stable stereotypes. Assuming in a similar STEM stereotype intervention program, the role of teacher is replaced with that of parents, and the less gender stereotypes that parents view on STEM scientists are, the more positive their attitudes can be observed, and it is easier to change their children's attitude toward these gender stereotypes. After the intervention program, underrepresented groups would have higher academic performance. Moreover, if the intervention is effective, then its effects can be long-lasting and hard to change. Based on the design of STEM stereotype teacher-led courses intervention program, I decided to use between subjects design. So participants for the experiment aged from preschool to grade 2 will be divided into 2 groups, and one group of children will be paired with their parents as an experimental group, while the other group of children will participate in the experiment individually. The dependent variable would be the condition that participants are paired with parents or not. The dependent variable could be children's attitude on gender stereotypes and the increase or decrease of their academic performance. During the experiment, the intervention involved exposing children to get to know a diverse range of scientists. Before the experiment, parents will attend a brief meeting where they are informed that they will see the introductions of female scientists, and they need to show positive emotions and praise these scientists, thereby influencing children's thoughts. Since before the intervention program, many children held the common stereotypes about scientists, such as viewing them as male, white, and working alone in labs. After that, we can ask several questions to children and record how they describe male and female scientists. We can count the counter-stereotypical word usage as well as the common stereotypes word usage to compare which group has higher counter-stereotypical word usage. Before and after the intervention program, the academic performance measurement would be similar to the experiment from Liu and Xie, which combined examination results collected by schools and mathematical capability test scores. This way, we can compare the changes of academic performance by looking at marks. To investigate the long-run test of the study, I will ask children to write down 6 words you would use to describe a scientist at 4 different times: before the intervention, 1 week after the intervention, 1 year after the intervention, and 3 years after the intervention. Similarly, test scores would be compared at the same time. So based on the previous study from the Xinyang, we can expect that there will be an increase in positive words that children use to describe scientists in the experimental group. Since from the study of Scientists of the Week from Xinyang through the teacher-led courses, the invention was successful in reducing many stereotypes. So similarly, in this experiment, this role of parents is equivalent to that of teachers, both aiming to eliminate stereotypes by allowing children to observe and evaluate the attitudes towards scientists at different genders. The gender stereotype intervention can change views of scientists among children, promoting a more active, more diverse, more inclusive perception of scientists. However, in the long-term effects, these intervention measures do not have a lasting impact on eliminating gender stereotypes. Based on the results from Xinyang, it found that many of the positive changes seem in the view of the short run and diminished in the long run. It can be predicted that stereotypes about intelligence are deeply ingrained and may require more sustained or repeated interventions to change. Therefore, students' grades can improve in the short term, but in the long run, underrepresented groups will still be affected by stereotypes and impacting their learning abilities. So although the results suggest that achieving long-run changes in children's stereotypes might not be entirely effective, but it can be inferred that during the preschool and second grade age range, children are notably more open to altering their stereotypes. Thus, this period is optimal for initiating interventions. Compared to teachers, parents may have a more enduring influence on changing children's perceptions because they spend the most of the time with their children, and children are more inclined to learn from their behavior. It can be seen that changing a person's stereotypes requires not just the individual effort of parents or teachers alone, but they need a joint effort from multiple parties to educate children. They should be told that gender stereotypes in STEM are full of biases. Relevant courses can be set up in schools to explain from a scientific perspective that there's no absolute academic differences between men and women should be encouraged to participate more STEM-related courses. In summary, during the younger years of children, especially during preschool, the shaping of children's thoughts and consciousness is very important. Collaboration between educators, parents, and wider community is essential to create a holistic and supportive environment that encourages young children to see themselves in STEM careers and challenge traditional stereotypes about academic performance.